Welcome to the vlog, everyone. We're going to be playing 1-2 at a crazy home game in Jersey City. Let's go to the action right away, and we'll be back with results when I'm done. The first exploit is to bet your range advantage versus your opponent when you don't actually have it. We looked at the jacks from the cutoff, the player under the gun limps, the middle position 1 player raises to 8, and middle position 2 calls. We're going to try to isolate here, so I 3-bet to 30. Folds around to the big blind, who makes the call, and the middle position 2 is also going to call. We go 3 ways into the flop of ace king deuce with 2 clubs. Action checks to me, and I'm going to size down here to 25 as I would do with all my ace-x holdings multi-way. Big blind gets out of the way and the middle position player makes the call. The turn is the queen of diamonds and my opponent checks to me. I can have all the ace king, ace queen, and jack 10 here. My opponent has about 120 behind, which is less than the pot. I want to maximize my fold equity against potential flush draws with a pair of kings or hands of that nature, so I go all in here. My opponent quickly lets his cards go and the chips get pushed our way. We're going to find the very creative line with the jack 3 of hearts in the button. We open for $13 over 2 limpers. The reason I'm going for a smaller open here is I want to invite people to play up pop multi-way if possible, because this hand from the button should be very straightforward to play. The big blind, under the gun limper, and the middle position player calls. We go to a flop of king queen 3, 2 diamonds. Checks to us and I stab for $7 because it's multi-way. I know some players sitting across me will fold more than they should. We lose the big blind and the turn is the 5 of clubs. I continue for a size of 25, but it's still multi-way and only the big blind calls. The driver is a jack, giving us 2 pair. When checked to me, I think this opponent probably has a queen, second pair at best. So from my read, I go for a small size of 50 to extract max value because I'm afraid that he might fold to a bigger bet. We get snapped off with our weird line and our 2 pair is good when our opponent shows king 6 of hearts. Strap on, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a double board PLO bomb pot. 4 cards in our hand, double the board, double the fun. No exploits, but look at this massive action. We start from the flop and the first board comes 9-3-8 with 2 clubs, and the second board is a 5-8 king with 1 club. We're drawing to the backdoor not flush on both boards and already made a pair on the bottom board. We have aces to cover our ass if one rolls over. Can't be loving my spot more than this, honestly. The player before me pots it. I'm just going to flat call given that I'm drawing to the absolute nuts on both boards with more action left behind. Now one other player calls and another player calls. We continue with this bloated pot and the turn is the beautiful 7 of clubs rolling on the top board, giving us the nuts, and 9 of spades on the bottom board. Opponent to my right now rips it in for 135 total. Given the price, I'm just gonna call to invite more players, knowing we potentially have one board locked up. The player on my left calls and the other player across the table calls now. River is the queen of clubs on the top board and a 10 on the bottom, giving us 2 pair. We have no option but to go all in here for 300 effective. Opponent on my left folds and we get shown king king jack 9 for one opponent on the bottom boards, and we chop with this person. However, this was the short stack. He can only get so much of the pot. The stack on the screen gets pushed over our way, which is about 420-ish from my counting, so awesome takedown. It's a $4 straddle on. Player on my right opens to 16, and I wanted to look very strong here, so I'll call 3-bet to 40 with an effective bluff. My read is that this table will vary under 4-bet, and when they do, they have jacks plus. Action folds all the way to the initial raiser now, who raises to 85. I apologize, but this size in a live game is not acceptable, giving me perfect odds to call. An opponent on my left is never ever going to go all in here with anything worse than kings or aces. Knowing that opponent on my left is likely to overcall, I put my money in. And as expected, we go 3 ways onto the flop of ace king 10 two-tone. This is as good as it's gonna get for me. However, the opponents could easily have aces, kings, or ace king. I'm not too worried about the opponent on my left, but the 4-better scares me on this board even though I have the 2 pair. The 4-better goes all in for 235 without thinking too much, and I go into the tank. Before you call me a nit in the comments, let's think about their range here. Ace king, kings, aces, ace queen, ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited, jacks, queens. Strictly one of these hands is what we're going to see. We block a king, which decreases the ace king and the kings the opponent is going to have. Also, I think the opponent would always start with a check if he had ace king or kings, because in this spot he would never want us to fold. Exploitatively, I just put the money in, we also go all in, and next to act folds, and let's roll the clip.
Queen Jack Ace.
Twice if you would allow it, but
Sure, twice is fine. I don't care.
Might be the biggest pot of the night.
I think it is.
Wait,
Wait, let me get it. Hold on, for the vlog. Let me get it all set up.
So wait, what's your out? So Queen,
Jack.
Jack,
Queen of the Ace.
Queen Jack Ace. No Queen, no Jack, no Ace.
How many times, boys?
2.
2 times, please.
2 times.
It's me.
Serious?
Those good on the first.
Full house.
That full house. It's me.
Nice one.
Nice end. We're in the big blind with Jack 10 of hearts, the undergun player raises, and 4 people call behind. If I 3-bet here, this is going to look extremely strong again, and I know that some players could be uncapped and they wanted to play trappy, so I just flick into call to see a chip flop. The flop is King 9 deuce with the King of Hearts. We're going to check out of position and the action checks around. The turn is now the 8 of Hearts, giving us an open ender and a flush draw. I'm going to take a different line and donk bet for about half pot here, and if I get raised, I already have my mind made up to 3-bet jam to realize my equity. 4 players get out of the way, and only the button player calls. The river rolls up the 5 of hearts, completing the flush, and I think this other player that arrived here with a weak top pair type of hand. The villain in this hand is my buddy, and I have polarizing sizing that I use against this player for about 80 to 150% of the pot. I've used the sizing against him to show up with complete air and absolute nuts multiple times before, so this time's no different when I actually have the goods. I lead out 425. For reference, any other player, I'd go relatively small here. We're about 40 to 50 bucks, trying to get a crying call from weak top pair, but against this player, I exploitatively increase my value size because I know his action will not change based on my sizing, which is showing his inelasticity against this size. He says he wants to make the vlog more enjoyable, so he does this, and this is how the action goes.
Alright, I have a red card and a black card. It's binding. You pick a card. Red I call, black I
Oh,
fold.
this is perfect for the vlog.
This one, wait, I gotta get it on the vlog. So red
he calls,
red I call, black I fold.
I have a flush.
You're good. Shit. I thought Jack 10 was in there, but I didn't think
We take down this balloon pot, and big thanks to Mike for the minigame deciding his action at the end. We're gonna punish passiveness in this hand where we open Queen 9 of diamonds from middle position to $15 over a $5 straddle. We get 2 customers and we go into the flop in position of Ace King Queen. When it checks over to me, I'm going to be very uncapped in the spot, so I'm going to use a $20 size. We get 1 opponent to call. The turn is a jack, so any 10 makes a straight now, but my opponent calling free flop raise. The only hands that contain a 10 I would expect him to be here is type of Ace 10, King 10, Jack 10, and any other 10s. I believe if my opponent had a 10, he would 3-bet pre, and he could only handle so much pressure with his current holdings. When my opponent checks, I know he's sitting here with a weak ace at best because this player specifically has been playing very passively and always leading when he has the nuts, and given his stack depth, I can have him fold better here almost always that doesn't have a 10, so I go all in for 2x pot and we see the immediate fold, nice read, and take down on our end. We have the Thanksgiving game on, which means if you win with 10-6, because 10x giving, get it? Anyways, if you win with 10-6, you get paid a $20 bounty. We're going to get in there and try to take this pot down with aggression, open to about $20 in middle position and get 1 caller. Flop is King 5 deuce rainbow. This is going to be a really good board for my raising range, so a sized up c-bet is in demand, and I just put the 20 bucks in, which is good enough to take this pot. Bingo.
Fuck.
We make an extra 20 from the 10x bounty. And that's going to conclude the session. We're up about $440. You can see the session results here, how long we've played. And if you have enjoyed this video and made this far, I would appreciate a subscribe or a comment. Or if you have any kind of criticism, make sure you leave that down below.